Today we're heading to Pioneer to sow some villainy with Oblivion Sower and Villainous Wealth. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Against the Odds. And this week, we are heading to Pioneer to sow some villainy. We are playing Oblivion Sower Villainous Wealth combo, so let's talk about what this deck is trying to do. Oh my goodness, it's so janky, but if it works, it's gonna be so sweet. Jump into some games and see if we can actually make it happen. So we're built around the winning card on last week's poll, Oblivion Sower, a 6-mana 5/8 Eldrazi with an interesting cast trigger. When you cast it, target opponent exiles 4 cards from their library, and then you can put any number of lands that player owns from exile on the battlefield under your control. So it's important to point out about Oblivion Sower, this isn't just from the 4 cards it exiles. Any cards that are in exile, any land cards, we get to put into play. So if we can exile lands in other ways, Oblivion Sower can be the most absurd ramp spell in the history of Magic. This could be putting 10 lands, 20 lands into play for 6 mana, which is insane. So what is this deck trying to do? Well, step 1, ramp into Oblivion Sower. 6 mana is a lot in a fast format like Pioneer, so we got a bunch of mana dorks and cell assists to get it down quicker. Also, find Oblivion Sower, obviously, dig through time memory deluge, help dig through our deck, find our important pieces. So let's say we get the mana for Oblivion Sower, and we can actually cast the Oblivion Sower. Well, how do we actually get lands into exile to make it powerful? And the big reason I wanted to play this deck is actually Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Tasha's Hideous Laughter exiles a lot of cards from our opponent's deck. It's essentially a mill spell, but instead of milling and putting the cards in the graveyard, it puts them into exile. So it really depends on the matchup, how many cards it exiles, probably like 15 on average or something like that, but it can be more or less depending on the mana value of our opponent's deck. But the idea of this deck is hopefully before we Oblivion Sower, we Tasha's Hideous Laughter to get 5, 10 lands into the exile zone, and then Oblivion Sower is going to be absurd. We also have a bunch of Ashiok's, and Ashiok's like main thing is exiling stuff like Ashiok Dreamrender, down ticks to exile some cards and exile our opponent's graveyard. Ashiok Nightmare Weaver, upticks to exile 3 cards from the opponent's library. Ashiok Nightmare Muse makes nightmares, and when they attack or block, exile cards from the opponent's library. Plus, if we ultimate it, we can play cards from our opponent's exile zone. So these are extra ways that we can just get cards into exile, because Oblivion Sower by itself without support, it's kind of okay. We cast it, we exile 4 cards, probably a land in there maybe, and I guess that's fine. It's a 6 mana 5/8 that gives us a land, but Oblivion Sower with this extra exile support can be really, really crazy. So that is the main plan of the deck. But then the final question is, what do we do with all this mana? Let's say we actually pull this off, and we Tasha's Hideous Laughter, and we Ashiok, and we Oblivion Sower, and we end up with like 20 lands on the battlefield. What do we do with it? The answer there is Villainous Wealth. Villainous Wealth, it just steals a ton of cards from our opponent's deck. 3 and X. Target opponent exiles the top X cards of their library, and you can cast any non-land cards with converted mana cost X or less without paying their mana cost. It's essentially like a Genesis wave, but it works with your opponent's deck, and it works with spells along with permanents. So the idea is, we do all of our shenanigans. We Oblivion Sower, we end up with a ridiculous amount of mana, and then we just Villainous Wealth to play like 20 cards from our opponent's deck and beat our opponent to death in the most hilarious way possible. We're beating them not only with all of their own cards, but we're casting those cards with all of their lands that we stole with Oblivion Sower. So that is the goal, that is the dream, that's what we want to do with this deck. Otherwise, a bunch of exile-based removal and some fatal pushes to stay alive. Mana base helps us cast our stuff. Sideboard, a bunch of stuff for control, counters, and discard. A bunch of removal for aggro. More Ashiok Dreamrenders for graveyard decks. And that is Villainous Sower for Pioneer. That's our Against the Odds deck for this week. Can we pull off the dream combo? Tasha's Hideous Laughter into Oblivion Sower into the best Villainous Wealth of all time. Let's find out. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it. And I'll be back in a bit with a wrap-up. Looking to pick up some sweet, sweet Double Masters 2022 reprints while prices are cheap? Well, you can snag them all from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, by heading over to cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. We've got a limited edition Commander playmat for sale, only available until the end of July. You can get regular Stitch or gold foil signatures from the entire Commander Clash crew, and you can pre-order it now over at mtggoldfishmerch.com. Against the Odds time, we are Oblivion sowing some villainy in Pioneer, and well, we're gonna keep this. We're up against Yarion, which Well, probably a control deck, I guess. But we got a little ramp. Really need one more land. We need a black source probably, or a blue source. So turn 1 Mystic, turn 2 nothing. I mean, I like that we have multiple ways to exile cards for Oblivion Sower, and I like Memory Deluge a lot to try to find Oblivion Sower. You know, if our opponent's on control, I like that Oblivion Sower's trigger is uncounterable, which is kind of a big deal. Elvish Mystic, go. Opponent, Beseju. All right, so not a pure, wow, I don't know what's going on. Yarian Warden of the first tree. Well, that is a land. This man is actually super challenging here. We can play Overgrown Tomb to kill the Warden. You know what, we're just gonna play Fabled Passage, whatever. We'll deal with it later. This gives us the possibility of getting down an Ashiok next turn. Like if we're not too far behind, we can just slam Nightmare Weaver and start exiling cards, and it can survive a Warden hit. I haven't seen Warden of the first tree in a while. Not a bad opponent. Gonna go to combat. I have no idea what our opponent's doing. Maybe they're a Sea Shrino deck. Are they a Abzan Yarian Sea Shrino deck? That'd be sweet. Opponent hits us, no leveling up. Thalia. Okay, well, Fabled Passage, crack it. Get a island. Well, now we're less likely to Ashiok. Another Fabled Passage. Well, Overgrown Tomb, untapped. All right, so our new plan is pass the turn, kill something, untap, big Ashiok. Probably got to kill a Thalia. We're actually kind of hoping our opponent levels up. If our opponent levels up, it's such a blowout. Kill the Thalia, untap, bounce the Warden. Opponent plays a Plains and Thalia's Lieutenant. So it's a human deck by the looks. All right, so opponent grows the dorks, goes to combat. Well, let's Fatal Push Thalia, take our beats, untap. Ooh, Villainous Wealth. We need to find the Sower, though. Well, Fabled Passage, crack it for a island. Big Ashiok, take it up. Pass the turn. We're getting close. We're getting close. We're heading in the proper direction for where we want to be. The Nightmares can get stuff in exile. Memory Deluge can hopefully find Oblivion Sower. Could use a Tasha's Hideous Laughter. And then Villainous Wealth for the whammies. Opponent's probably a Coco deck, I would assume. Coco could be bad for us. Huh? What is happening? Is there a human beast? What is... All right, so it's humans with a random questing beast, apparently. Opponent goes to combat. Gonna hit us, which also hits Ashiok. Yeah, less than ideal, I would say. Not optimal. All right, yeah, down to 11. Opponent passes. We draw a land. 1, 2, 3. Well, all right. Take up Ashiok. Memory Deluge. Not much. I mean, I think our plan is Elvish Mystic and Fabled Passage. Play Elvish Mystic. Pathway on green. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I mean, I think our plan's gonna be to just cast a Villainous Wealth. If we draw Oblivion Sower next turn, we can Oblivion Sower. Otherwise, was not expecting the Questing Beast out of the human deck. Was not expecting it. What a flavor fail. Opponent, come on now. Come on now. I guess no one expects the Questing Beast. Speaking of no one expecting it, I want Panglacial Worm and Pioneer. Panglacial Worm and Pioneer would be sweet. Temple Garden tapped. 2 cards in hand. I wonder, is there any way, can we Memory Deluge first? Do we have enough time? That's the question. Like, we could try to Memory Deluge to find Oblivion Sower. The problem is we're just dying to this Questing Beast that we can't block. We drop to 7. We lose our Ashiok. Opponent passes. We draw. Oblivion Sower. Okay. Fabled Passage. Crack Fabled Passage. Grab a swamp. Can we attack first? How greedy is it to attack? We'd just be sacrificing a Nightmare for the chance of getting more lands. We got to make sure we don't die. Yeah, I don't think we can. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oblivion Sower. Come on, Oblivion Sower. A painful land. Okay, well, pass the turn. Well, 1 land, that's something. At least Oblivion Sower theoretically can block Questing Beast. Please don't have Coco. Wandering Emperor is okay. We can survive a Wandering Emperor. All right, levels up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, we definitely are Villainous Wealthing next turn. I don't think we have an option. Can you kill the Oblivion Sower? Adeline, okay. I don't think that really changes anything. Land, opponent, combat. Wow, getting in with everything. Interesting. So I get a token. They grow the Thalia's Lieutenant. I mean, we will block, block, block. Actually, should do it this way. We'll take the Questing Beast hit, drop to 2. Exile some cards. Oh, double elite Spellbinder. Concealed Courtyard Wandering Emperor. All right, so we go to 2. However, we got Villainous Wealth. Will it save us? We draw a Swamp. All right, well, we're going to 1. Villainous Wealth. Be good, be good. 1, 2, 3. So X2. Wait. All right, X3, X4, X5, X6, X7. Down to 1. Villainous Wealth, you. Okay, so let's see. Giant Killer. Actually, you want this to resolve last. So Thalia's Lieutenant, Giant Killer, Heron's Grace Champion, Luminarch Aspirant, Warden of the First Tree. Okay, not bad. 5 humans. We will take it. Lifelink them up. Grow the Dorks. So we just got to make sure we don't take any damage. Counter on Warden of the First Tree. That was not bad. That was not bad. That was a lot of humans. We're at 1 life, but that was a good Villainous Wealth. And now we have a bit of lifelink too. This Heron's Grace Champion's actually huge. And then Gut Shot. Kytheon, okay, that doesn't make us die. And then we can potentially Memory Deluge to try to do it again. Opponent, passing. Sylvan Caryatid. Go to combat. Counter on Heron's Grace Champion. Get in for 5 to gain a bit of life. Wow, this Mana Confluence actually turns on Giant Killer, which is maybe relevant. Opponent can block, make it indestructible, sure, but we still gain life. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Caryatid. Go. I think the plan is Caryatid, Memory Deluge, hopefully find more Villainous Wealth and Oblivion Sowers and maybe a Hideous Laughter. Some combination. Opponent can get Yarion at some point. They can flip Kytheon, but I don't know how relevant that is. Villainous Wealth has been pretty sweet. Like, it takes so much mana to get it going. Would have been sweeter with a better Oblivion Sower. Is our opponent scooping? Wow, opponent scooped it up. Okay, well. Got him, I guess. Extinction Event in, Legion's End in, go down, slow Ashiok, and 1 Llanowar. Actually, Llanowar's fine in this matchup, right? They can't, yeah, 1 Llanowar, that's fine. Run it like that. Run it like that. Well, that was good. That was good. That was almost the full combo. We had Hideous Laughter as the 1 missing piece, but we did Oblivion Sower, only for 1 land, unfortunately, but Oblivion Sower for a land, into Villainous Wealth to stabilize at 1 life. Is Villainous Wealth just good? That sounds ridiculous, but is it just good? Maybe we should be playing more Villainous Wealth in Pioneer. Someday we're going to have the dream. Someday we're going to have the dream where it just all comes together and it's going to be, oh my God, it's going to be spectacular. It's going to be so good. That was still good. That was still Villainous Wealth, but it wasn't like, oh, Oblivion Sower, get 10 lands, Villainous Wealth for 20 or something absurd. But we'll take it. We'll take it. So we're on the draw for game number 2 against 80 card Yorion Questing Beast Human deck, I guess. Ooh, well, I like this hand. We don't have our Oblivion Sower, but double ramp Villainous Wealth and an Ashiok to keep us alive. Sounds fine. Yeah, we will keep. All right, opponent, what do you got? Blooming Marsh and passes. Well, land and Elvish Mystic. No Fatal Pushing, please. Opponent adapts. Getting down Celestis next turn would be sweet. Opponent passes. Well, Swamp and Celestis go. Daytime has arrived. Oh, Containment Priest. You may cast any number without paying your mana value. Oh, okay. That doesn't actually stop our combo. Opponent. Secluded Courtyard on Human. Adeline. Elite Spellbinder. Ooh, what do they go for here? What do they go for? Ashiok can come down now, but Villainous Wealth got him last game. All right, takes the Ashiok. I mean, opponent's got a clock. They do have a clock. It's us for 2. Well, what do we draw? Pathway. Well, 1, 2, 3. Let's turn it to night. Loot, gain a life. There's the Oblivion Sower. Discard Overgrown Tomb. Breeding Pool tapped. Pass the turn. I mean, we can Oblivion Sow next turn. Potentially. Temple Garden untapped. Redain. Ugh. All right, that slows down our Villainous. Obnoxious opponent. Obnoxious. You know what we need is Extinction Event. I think that's what we need most of all. So opponent gets in, hits us a bunch, down to 14. We draw Elvish Mystic. Well, play the land. Oblivion, so come on, let's get some lands. Let's get some lands. All right, we get a land and a 5/8. A 5/8 something. Well, pass the turn. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So we can only Villainous Wealth for 3 right now. Jeez. Jeez Louise. Opponent, Kemball. Well, opponent's got all the hate cards, that's for sure. And a land. Hits us for 5. Well, come on, Extinction Event. We need Extinction Event, and we need it pretty soon. Oblivion Sower. Well, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oblivion Sower. 1 land on Elf. Get another Oblivion Sower. Llanowar Elves. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, Overgrown Tomb. No attacks. I mean, we're probably casting Villainous Wealth again next turn. We get to gain 1 life with the Celestis. Oh, we're getting so taxed. Yes, loot away the land. Well, how good is this Villainous Wealth? So we go to 5, 4, 3 from Kemball. Opponent goes to combat. Opponent hits us. Sure. Down to 5. Extinction Event's still the best. Opponent passes. Loot. I mean, if we hit Extinction Event, we keep it. Carry added, discard it. Land. Well, here goes nothing. Villainous Wealth, for all that we got, can it save us again? Even through this annoying Redain, which is... Oh, this would be a good Villainous Wealth if it wasn't for Redain, but X6 is still something. We drop to 4. Villainous Wealth. Danik Questing Beast. Yes, doesn't save us, does it? We just died to the Flyers. Yeah. All right. Pony had the tax cards that game. Spellbinder and Redain. We actually got off to a pretty good start there too, but they just had the right taxing effects. Didn't hit the removal. Well, run it back. Run it back. We're on the play for game number 3. I mean, that was, boy, if we had hit the Hideous Laughter, the Villainous Wealth would have been so big. Pony just had multiple Flyers that game. I think Extinction Event might be our most important card against this deck. 1 Extinction Event. Oh, that would have set us up. That would have really set us up if we could have found it. I don't think we want anything else. Well, run it back. Run it back. This could be the one. We get to play first. Well, okay, we're going to keep. We do have Extinction Event and Oblivion Sower and Baleful Mastery and Villainous Wealth. We pretty much just need mana for days. Mana Confluence. Thoughtseize. I assume they take the Extinction Event, which just gets them hard. Wow, takes Villainous Wealth. Interesting. Well, tap land and hit you for 1. Well, come on, mana. Come on, manas. Our 1 Celestis might be our single best draw at the moment. Lands are also fine. Opponent, Secluded Courtyard on Beast. Human this time. Sure. Luminarch Aspirant. Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna kill it. We're not doing anything else. And land, please. All right, Overgrown Tomb. Yeah, let's play it untapped and not attack to leave a Baleful Mastery. All right, so what do we want? Mana, Tasha's Hideous Laughter for Oblivion Sower, more Villainous Wealth. I think that's what we're mostly looking for. More unclaimed territory. Unhuman. So I guess Redain's annoying. Spellbinder is a little annoying. Another Aspirant. Sure. Passes. Well, okay. Elvish Mystic. Go. I mean, we're 1 land away from casting Oblivion Sower now, if our elves live. If they don't live, that's worse. We're into the first tree. Okay. Opponent goes to combat. Gonna grow itself? Sure. Well, we're gonna keep being patient for now. Opponent gets and hits us. I mean, I think land for Oblivion Sower is still the best. Opponent passes. Well, all right, Fabled Passage. Crack Fabled Passage. Get a island. And let's do some sowing. Nothing in exile at the moment. Hopefully we hit some lands. Come on. All right, all lands. I guess we name Elf again. And we get a 5/8. I mean, Oblivion Sower is it's a pretty powerful card. Like a 5/8's a good body. Yorgo opponent. Opponent. Now we're getting to the point where, oh, can they kill it? Oh, levels up, sure. Now we'd like that Villainous Wealth or card draw, more Oblivion Sowers. Tasha's Hideous Laughter to just get things in exile would still be fine for future Oblivion Sowers. Right now, Villainous Wealth would be what, X5? About it. If you want to Reflector Mage our Oblivion Sower, we'll accept that. We will take the damage. Elite Spellbinder. I mean, we got enough mana we can still cast stuff, so this isn't the end of the world. Even if it does make our stuff a bit more expensive. Let's just keep the Extinction Event. Counter on Aspirant. All right, come on, deck. Something good. Something good. Breeding Pool. Well, we will play Breeding Pool tapped. Pass the turn. So we're probably going to have to Baleful Mastery something here. Opponent is down to 13 thanks to their mana confluence. Opponent. Counter on the Spellbinder. Hits us. So I think we take it and then try to just set up maybe the Hard Wrath with this Extinction Event if we don't draw anything. Get rid of the Aspirant. Cameo Safekeeping, sure. So they keep their Aspirant for now. We untap. Legion's End. Well, Legion's End, Aspirant. Questing Beast, Trespasser, Safekeeping. Okay. Well, I think we go to combat, attack with everything, hit our opponent. Yeah, we're just going to Extinction Event here. We're going to lose our elves, but we have enough mana to function. Opponent blocks an elf, takes 6. Down to 8. And then, yeah, Extinction Event time. Extinction Event. Odd. And the Oblivion Sower stands alone. We know our opponent can play stuff. They really need, like, green mana Questing Beast. Opponent. Graveyard Trespasser. Okay, we need, like, anything we can cast would be very helpful. Just not a land. It's a land. The problem with this is it means this is going to flip. It's going to flip. There's no creatures, though. Well, I guess we attack this turn, I think. Takes it to 3. We're not going to play the land. We're going to bluff. Opponent gets to flip their dork. No creatures to exile, though, so they don't get to drain us. And now Oblivion Sower must be blocked. We're actually, like, super close. Super close to winning this the fair way. Questing Beast. So opponent hit the green. So I can't believe they're playing Questing Beast in this deck. It feels so wrong with that mana base, but they drew a Secluded Courtyard, put it on Beast. It's less time cast Questing Beast. They can hit us to, oh, they draw Adeline. Okay. Those are 2 good draws. Opponent gets in. Well, we got to draw something. We got to draw. Boy, it's ended up being so close. So opponent gets in, makes a token, grows the Adeline. This does mean because of the Adeline and the land draw, it does mean our opponent has lethal next turn because of Questing Beast. This is the turn to top deck if we're going to top deck. Come on, Magic Gods. Ah, Villainous Wealth would be fun. No. Well, that was not the best time to draw 2 lands in a row, that's for sure. Not the best at all. Yeah, so we're literally dead on board. Wow. Betrayed by the Magic Gods. Can we see what we would have drawn if we were not betrayed by the Magic Gods? Hideous Laughter. Oh my goodness, Extinction Event. Oh my goodness, Memory Deluge, which would have found us another Extinction Event and a Sylvan Caryatid, and then we could have flashed it back and we would have got Oblivion. Oh my goodness. Ah! Unfortunate timing for the 2 lands in a row. Unfortunate. Next time. Kind of a shame we got by Questing Beast out of this mana base, honestly. My advice would be do not do this. But hey, it's your deck, so if you want to YOLO it, go ahead. Well, next time. Against the odds time, we are Oblivion Sowing, attempting to Oblivion Sow. In Pioneer, we're going to keep this, I think. Yeah, I mean, 1 lander's risky, but we do have double Mana Dork, and we could, oh no, Thoughtseize, oh no, Rakdos, that means I can kill our Mana Dorks. Well, we draw land at least. Well, land and Elvish Mystic, go. It would be nice to get down this Caryatid, because that doesn't just die to removal. Opponent Pathway, and Stomps on our Mystic. All right, well, we get to get down Caryatid. We did draw land, which is, ooh, Tasha's Hideous Laughter. I mean, we got the full combo in hand. Can we get the mana to do it? Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Oblivion Sower, Villainous Wealth, like that's what we want to do. A blue source would be really nice to Memory Deluge for lands. Opponent, Blood Tithe Harvester. All right, blue mana, blue mana, blue mana. Blue mana for Memory Deluge. Magic Gods, you can do it. You can do it, friend. Ah, it's blue mana. Okay, that's what we wanted to see. That's what we wanted to see. We will pass the turn. All right, things might be working out. So we get to Memory Deluge, hit our land drops, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Oblivion Sower, Villainous Wealth. Please don't thought seize us for a few turns. We're going to take our beats. Also, I guess Memory Deluge could whiff on lands, and that would be sad, but down to 50. And Bone Crusher? Bone Crusher. And, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 Memory Deluge. We will take land and land. Untap. Pathway on blue. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Please hit a bunch of lands. Oh, so we got to dodge Thoughtseize for like 2 more turns. 12 cards. 1 land, 2 land, 3. Only 3 lands? It's actually a little disappointing. Oh, there's 4. This sneaky mountain. Okay, 4 lands that's not that bad. All right, so we can Fatal Push something this turn. Oblivion Sower the following turn. Villainous Wealth for everything the next turn. That's the plan. Opponent's gonna get in, hit us. We are going to Fatal Push the Blood Tithe Harvester and take our beats. Come on, no discard. No discard. No discard, friend. Down to 11. Opponent. Blood Crypt. Okay. Chandra. Well, as long as we live, I think this is, it's mana. Graveyard Trespasser. I think we live long enough. It's gonna be close. Gonna depend on if they can kill the Oblivion Sower, really. So play the land on black. Yeah, this is the big turd. Oblivion Sower. Would be nice if we hit a few more lands. All lands. Not paying life. We get the Oblivion Sower. All right, past the turn. All right, no death. No death. We just need to survive this turn and we get to cast probably the best Villainous Wealth of all time. Come on. Come on. You gotta think the Villainous Wealth saves us. If we get Thoughtseize, I'm literally gonna cry. Takes up. Oh, die! Oh my goodness. Well, that's how dreams die. That's how dreams die. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Wow, that is ridiculously unfortunate. Ridiculously unfortunate. Opponent passes. We draw an Ashiok. Ashiok is good. We do need to get rid of I can't believe that happened. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened. Attack the Chandra. Opponent lets it go to 1. Ashiok. Make a Dork. Elvish Mystic. Blooming Marsh. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Takes up Chandra. Able to Mirror Breaker. All right. Well, opponent is, they're hitting what they need to hit. We could draw Villainous Wealth. That is a card that's in our deck that we could draw. That is legal. That is a legal option. Opponent. Gonna go attacking. Wants to hit the Ashiok. Exiles Villainous Wealth. Well, we will block and block. Exile a couple cards. Kill the Dork. Ashiok down to 2. Well, come on, Villainous Wealth. Opponent or Graveyard Trespassing. Opponent passes. Extinction Event. Let's Extinction Event on odds. Go to combat. Attack Chandra. Opponent's gonna chump. Well, take up Ashiok to make a Dork. Pass the turn. Gets to loot. Our opponent deserves to be Villainous Wealth after that Thoughtseize top deck. Ha! That one's not as good, is it, opponent? They can Hive the Eye Tyrant, but we can keep Ashiok alive. We are down to 8, so we do want to get rid of the Chandra at some point. You gotta assume they're gonna draw a Croxa eventually. Oh, that would have been such a sweet Villainous Wealth. Such a sweet one. Opponent. Red Boar's Oblivion Sower. Graveyard Trespasser number 3. All right. Well, our opponent's out of cards. The question is, will we ever draw something good? We don't have that much time. It's got to happen soon. Well, okay. What do we do with this Ashiok? We could get rid of the Chandra, but then we can't really beat the board. So I think we got to let it live, unfortunately. Well, we'll play Ashiok. Exile some cards. Take up, make a Nightmare. Pass the turn. Maybe our hope is milling our opponent out. Opponent gets to flip the Saga, which is a problem. Oh, we really need to draw something good like this turn. Takes up Chandra, hits a land. We drop to 5. Tasha's Hideous Laughter would actually be very interesting here. Wow, they top deck a Fatal Push. All right. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Goes to combat. Goes attacking. Well, we need to top deck something this turn. This exact turn. We do not have another turn after this one. We are dead if we do not top deck something. So that's it. That's all. Magic gods, if you ever wanted to be good to us, this would be the turn to do it. Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Villainous Wealth, any of those. Dig Through Time would be fine. We go to 2, so we're dead on board. If we don't top deck, we untap, we draw. Sylvan Caryatid. Wow. Oh boy. We were gonna do such cool things there too. Well, I mean, that's unfortunate. Ether Gus in. We'll go down this Ashiok. All right. Well, we will mulligan the one lander. This will keep, although it is not very good. Villainous Wealth, I guess, to the bottom, since it's gonna get thought seized anyway. Watery Grave Tap, go. About it adapts. Plays a swamp. Thoughtseize. Sure, takes an Ether Gust. Opponent passes. We draw. Extinction Event. Well, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays a mountain. Blood Tithe Harvester. Well, we will Ether Gust your Blood Tithe Harvester. Opponent passes. Sylvan Caryatid. Well, I mean, that's ramp. That's ramp. Play the land past the turn. Opponent adapts. Gonna need to find some card draw or something. Plays a land. Blood Tithe Harvester returns. Opponent passes. We draw. Baleful Mastery. Well, I mean, that could do something eventually. It is a removal spell. We will pass the turn. Opponent sacks the blood. Untaps. Goes to combat. Gets in for 3. Sure. Down to 70. Opponent. Graveyard Trespasser. And Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Opponent passes. We draw land. I mean, I guess we just get rid of the Graveyard Trespasser while we can. Pass the turn. Well, come on, big stuff. Card draw, Oblivion Sowers, etc. Opponent. Chandra. We've seen this before. Opponent. Kalitas to exile. I mean, we can Baleful Mastery the Chandra. Gets and hits us. Down to 12. Ashiok. Well, crack this. Grab an island. Play an Ashiok, make a dork. Pass the turn. Opponent goes to combat. I mean, we will just block here and keep our Ashiok. Try to keep our Ashiok. Opponent's going face. All right, so they just have removal for the Ashiok, I guess. Opponent. Yep, has a Dreadbore for Ashiok. Plays a land and passes. We draw more lands. Okay. Well, I mean, we get to kill the Chandra. Although we're pretty much just dead at this point. We just never drew any of our combo pieces. No Oblivion Sowers, no Villainous Wealth. I mean, we were on the mulligan, I guess. Opponent plays a land. Hive of the Eye Tyrant goes to combat. This will go down as one of the great what-ifs in Against Odds history. How sweet would it have been? We draw Fatal Push, which, I mean, I guess this means we get to chump block and kill the Hive of the Eye Tyrant and stay alive, theoretically. Attacks. Well, we will chump block. Opponent. Draw something good. All right, sure. Against the odds time, we are Oblivion Sowing, Villainous Sower, also some Villainous Wealth action, seeing how many lands we can steal, and then hopefully turning them into all of our opponent's cards. This end's fine. We don't have Oblivion Sower. We got some ramp. We got the Tasha Hideous Laughter for getting some stuff in exile in case we ever find the Sower. Temple Garden tapped. Ooh, Celestis is sweet. Well, over on Tomb untapped, Elvish Mystic go. Also, Ashiok, Tasha's Hideous Laughter is pretty hilarious. Could be decent. Get a bunch of stuff in exile and then steal it. Abzan, eh? Our opponent might be playing some good, clean, fair magic. Are we getting Siege Rhinoed? Opponent. Wither Bloom Command. Okay, mills some cards, gets back a land. All right, so it's a graveyardy deck. Opponent passes. Well, play an island, play Sylvan Caryatid. Can't kill that one. So we're gonna need Oblivion Sower at some point. That's the biggest thing we're missing so far. Blooming Marsh for our opponent. And Satyr Wayfinder. I mean, maybe we just Hideous Laughter them if our opponent's gonna aggressively self-mill. Oh, it's a Grease Fang deck. All right, well, there's no Parhelion in the graveyard yet, which is good. Memory Deluge. Well, 1, 2, 3. Celestis. Watery Grave tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent. Well, no vehicle in the graveyard yet is good news. Memory Deluge, hopefully, we just gotta find a way to not die to a Parhelion. Ravine's Informant, gonna loot. We might have to dig for Fabled Passage. Grimflare. All right, well, we're going to Fatal Push Grimflare. Opponent gets in for 1. I'll play the swamp. Oh, there are ways this goes wrong still. Yeah, I mean, I think we just play Ashiok, make a dork, pass the turn. No Parhelion into death, please. Oh, this could be it. Grizzly salvage into reanimate Parhelion. Wow, okay, no Parhelion yet. Still no vehicles. Staying alive, staying alive, staying alive. The Parhelion's gonna be a problem for Hideous Laughter. Opponent Temple Garden untapped. And Greasefang. There's no vehicle, right? There's no vehicle. Okay, opponent goes to combat. Opponent passes. Breeding Pool. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Memory Deluge. All right, take Fabled Passage. Dig Through Time. Ah, this is so sketchy. Yeah, I mean, tick up. Breeding Pool tapped. And pass the turn. Hope for no Parhelion. Oh, come on. No Parhelions. No Parhelions. Whoa! Okay. Well, we didn't get to do cool things, but our opponent didn't find Parhelion, and apparently that was all it took. So, Ashioks, go blanks in for Graveyard Hate. So what we need is mostly instant speed removal. Graveyard Hate, instant speed removal, though we don't really have much. Mystical Dispute's not exciting. I guess Negate's fine. I guess Fatal Push plus Fabled Passage can do some work. We do have a Baleful Mastery. Go down Extinction Event. Go down Ashiok Nightmare Weaver. Go down one Elvish Mystic. Maybe one more Extinction Event. Let's try it like that. All right, well, I mean, we know what we gotta do. Wipe the graveyard, keep Parhelion from hitting us. I'm surprised our opponent scooped that game, honestly. We weren't that, I mean, I guess we were gonna ultimate. Oh, yeah, we gotta mulligan this one. Oh dear. Okay, we have an Ashiok though. We're gonna try this. Ashiok Dream Render is actually pretty good. Hopefully that can keep the graveyard clear. And Fatal Push is fine. Like in theory, Fatal Push something into Ashiok to start exiling stuff into someday Oblivion Sower. No ramp, which is a little awkward, but Blooming Marsh and Thought Seas. All right, well that makes life worse because our opponent can take our graveyard 8 as predicted. Well, over on Tomb tapped. Pass the turn. Well, we need the Fabled Passage, I guess, to have an answer at instant speed to Greasefang. Do they have the Nut Draw? More Thought Seizing. Okay. Take Sylvan Caryatid. So opponent's just trying to slow us down at this. Oh my god, that's another Ashiok. All right, play this on blue. Another Ashiok is spectacular here. Especially if there's not a threat on board. Opponent. Oh god. Oh my goodness, it's happening. Opponent passing. Oh my. Ooh, and a go blank. Okay, so pathway on black. Ashiok. You. Tick down exile. Go. Opponent finds a land. We need an Oblivion Sower. Well, I guess we also need lands for Oblivion Sower. 1, 2, 3. Go blank you. Discard some cards, Ashiok you. I mean, there's still ways this can go wrong with our opponent, like Grizzly Salvage into Greasefang and running well. Okay, so they did it, but they didn't run well. So there's no Parhelion in the graveyard. Opponent can reanimate the well, they can't yet. Opponent plays a land. Well, we just want lands or ramp to get to this Oblivion Sower. There's a lot of lands in exile. Opponent gets rid of the Ashiok. Oh, I don't have the mana for that. All right, pass the turn. All right, now this is getting sketchy. Sketchier. Little bit scared. Opponent plays the tap land. And Murderer's Rider, right? Ooh, Azeka's Chariot. Okay. Well, yeah, this is not good. Ashiok. Unclear if we can actually beat an Azeka's Chariot, though. Being stuck on lands is definitely awkward. Courser, a Crufix. Thoughtseize on top. So opponent gets to keep attacking and making more cats and kill the Ashiok. I mean, the question's really going to be, can we find something? I mean, getting the Oblivion Sower probably would do it, but that's a lot of lands. We're just not hitting our land drops, and our ramp got Thoughtseize. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. Opponent going to Thoughtseize. Yeah, we're dead now, unfortunately. Well, sometimes you draw Oblivion Sowers and no lands. Sometimes you draw lands and no Oblivion Sowers. The sad part is we actually had a lot of graveyard hate. We just couldn't actually find anything to do proactively. All we drew was graveyard hate and then Oblivion Sowers that we couldn't cast. In theory, we're hoping we can ramp into the Oblivion Sowers, but double Thoughtseize took that plan away. All right, well, that would have been If we could have got to the Oblivion Sower, it would have been so good. Well, we get to play first. I mean, this will keep. We got an Oblivion Sower. We got some ramp. It will perhaps be stripped from our hand, but we'll see. Blooming Marsh. Go. Opponent untaps. Overgrown Tomb tapped. And passes. Now, Blooming Marsh. And, well, we're going to be able to get to... the Oblivion Sower this game, looks like. Concealed Courtyard. Opponent passes. Well, we will play Elvish Mystic. And Fabled Passage past the turn. We do kind of want to leave up this Fabled Passage so we can potentially kill a Grease Fang. Sooner or later, our opponent's going to get the Grease Fang draw. So opponent takes Ishkana. We'll be good eventually. I mean, I guess the question is, do we just run out Oblivion Sower? Grease Fang. Well, okay. I think this makes it worth killing. So crack this. Grab an island. Fatal push the Grease Fang. Opponent passes. Overgrown Tomb. Well, Overgrown Tomb, untapped. And yeah, we're gonna run it out. We didn't get to exile anything extra, but hit us some lands, please. A land. All right, well, a land is something. That's something. Pass the turn. I mean, Oblivion Sower is also a 5/8, so well, hopefully we can Memory Deluge into something relevant. Hate, removal, something along those lines. Ooh, traverse with all the types. All right, what's our opponent getting? So we can get any creature or land. Gets a Murderous Rider. So we're going to kill the Sower, I guess? Looks like. Opponent kills Oblivion Sower. Well, go Memory Deluge. Sylvan Caryatid. 1, 2, 3, 4. Memory Deluge. We'll take Go Blank and Villainous Wealth. Go blank you. This does mean our next Oblivion Sower should be very good. Overgrown Tomb tapped past the turn. Opponent. This also means Ishkana doesn't do a whole lot. Azeka's Chariot. All right, so we're gonna have to fight through that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna have Villainous Wealth as X5. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ugh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Memory Deluge. Take Dig Through Time and Pathway. Sylvan Caryatid. Next turn, we might have enough mana that we can just fire off Villainous Wealth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 is like the best. Wow, watch us get got. Okay, just a swamp. That's good. So we're not getting got by Parhelion. Grim Flare, that's fine. Oh, we could also Extinction Event on evens. Opponent, gonna fire up the Chariot, go attacking. If we draw a land, then Villainous Wealth is obviously good. Oblivion Sower would be amazing. All right, we drop to 12. All right, I think we go for it. Yeah, I mean, let's do it. 1, 2, please be good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Villainous Wealth X7. Okay, we got some goodies. Thought Sees You. Grease Fang. Azeka's Chariot. Stitcher's Supplier. Rafine's Informant. Okay. Yes, we will loot. We will discard Extinction Event. Stitcher's Supplier will mill some cards. Azeka's Chariot. Grease Fang. Thoughtseize. Take the command. Play the tap land. Pass the turn. And now we have the cards to dig through time for Oblivion Sower. That was a good turn. That was a good turn. Villainous Wealthing, one of the best decks in the format. About it. Cruise up the Chariot. Going to attack, I presume. Wow, swings with everything. Copies a cat. Block. Block. Actually, let's do it this way. And put an extra one in front of Grim Flare just in case. All right, see if we can trade off a bunch of stuff. Little does our opponent know we have another Villainous Wealth. This time we would really love to Oblivion Sower first, though, and get all the lands, and then cast the biggest Villainous Wealth. Opponent. Traverse. Card types again. Any creature or land. What do they go for? Probably Grease Fang to get back Chariot, which I think is fine. Yeah, gets the Grease Fang, plays the Grease Fang. We're going to wait. We're going to be a little greedy here. We're going to dig through time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We really want Oblivion Sower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's take Oblivion Sower and Oblivion Sower. Cast Oblivion Sower. Steal a few lands. Oh, maybe that's greedy. All right. Yeah, that might not have been worth it. Play an Elvish Mystic. Pass the turn. Next turn's the turn. Next turn's the turn. Opponent can get back the Chariot, but next turn, that is the greatest Villainous Wealth of all time. We could have taken Ashiok to wipe the graveyard, but then our opponent would probably scoop, and then we won't get to see this Villainous Wealth. All right, Witherbloom Command, thankfully does not mill Parhelion. That would have been bad. We dropped to 4. Opponent gets back a land. We can block through this, though, and then Villainous Wealth. I think this is fine. So opponent gets back a Zika's Chariot, makes a bunch of dorks. This Villainous Wealth is just going to be so absurd. Opponent makes cats, hasty chariot. Oh, it's happening. It is happening. Opponent, murderous rider, sure. Plays the land, bounces the chariot. Well, we have bad news, opponent. We have bad news. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I wonder if our opponent even sticks with it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Gonna leave up the 1 black for Fatal Push. Villainous Wealth. All right, so let's see. Stitcher Supplier, Satyr Wayfinder, Rafine's Informant, Azeka's Chariot number 2, Greasefang, Grizzly Salvage. Take a Fabled Passage. Chariot, Legend Ruled Chariot, make some cats, Rafine's Informant, loot away a land, Rafine's Informant, loot away Oblivion Sower, Satyr Wayfinder, get a breeding pool, Stitcher Supplier, mill some cards, play the Fabled Passage. Yeah, we'll just pass the turn. Your go. We can use a Fatal Push to kill the Greasefang. And then Tasha's Hideous Laughter should finish it. Ooh, Thoughtseize. Well, okay. Sacrifice this. Get the Forest. Fatal Push Greasefang. This does mean we lose a Hideous Laughter. Zika's Chariot. All right. Well, we don't win yet. Opponent passes. Ashiok's pretty good. Ashiok. Tick down. Nuke the graveyard. And opponent scoops it up. Yes! Okay, that was kind of what we were envisioning. We could have hit more lands with the first Oblivion Sower, but the second one got there, and our Villainous Wealth. What was it? First one, Villainous Wealth for 7, and we got like 7 spells, and the second one was for 13. That was a... that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Well, we got him. We got him. Opponent tried to Parhelion us, and Villainous Wealth got in their way. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Against the odds time, we are trying to do cool things with Villainous Wealth in Oblivion Sower in Pioneer. We'll keep this. We got a little ramp, got a little removal. Do not have Oblivion Sower or Tasha's Hideous Laughter or Villainous Wealth, but opponent appears to be mono-redding maybe. All right, definitely mono-redding. Monastery Swift Spear. And our opponent's on the play, unfortunately. It's a bit of a bummer. Down to 19. Well, there's Villainous Wealth. That is step something of something. Blooming Marsh, go. Opponent, Mountain. Jeez, Burning Tree Emissary. Yeah, this is a fast start. Jeez, Carry Zev. This is a really fast start. Well, we are going to Fatal Push the Carry Zev. So opponent's down to 2 cards in hand, but they got a lot of power, and we are going to have to shock ourselves this turn, unfortunately, unless we draw an untap land. Oh, Fatal Push. All right, Fabled Passage, go. I think this is okay. Fatal Push, I think, means we can just kill something and then play Carry Added next turn. Opponent, gonna run out at Saga. So I think we probably just kill Swift Spear. 1 card. Opponent's only got 1 card in hand. Goes to combat. Oh, Fatal Push the Swift Spear. Crack Fabled Passage. Get an island. All right. I mean, we have overcome the mono red onslaught. We'll see. Down to 15. Well, we'll play Sylvan Carry Added. Breeding Pool tapped past the turn. All right, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Oblivion Sower. Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Oblivion Sower. Those are the cards we need to do our thing. I mean, I guess at some point we could play a sad Villainous Wealth. Passes. Watery Grave. Watery Grave tapped. So right now it'd be Villainous Wealth for 3. That's not a ton. Opponent, gonna flip the Saga. Yeah, we'd love to find the Oblivion Sower and some exile stuff first. Opponent, Fanatical Firebrand, goes to combat. Now this is awkward, but I think we need to... We do need to Villainous, or we do need to Baleful Mastery something. Oh, their last card's Embercleave. All right, what are they putting it on? All right, gonna try to kill our Caryatid. Well, in this case, I mean, they can just keep re-equipping it. We'll get rid of the Emissary. Fizzle the attack for now. We still need something, though. We still need something, or we're just going to die to a double striker. Opponent passes. A sweeper would be good, too. Memory Deluge. Oh, Memory Deluge seems worth it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, maybe we... Yeah, let's Fabled Passage first. Fabled Passage, crack it. Get a... Forest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Memory Deluge. Extinction Event. And you know what? We probably just take Villainous Wealth. 2 Villainous Wealths are kind of sweet. All right, so we passed the turn. So what we're going to do is take a ton of damage from this Embercleave, but then Wrath, I think. Oh, geez, another Firebrand. Okay. So yeah, we're definitely taking a ton of damage. 6, 7, 7. So we're taking 7. But then this Extinction Event is a hard Wrath. And our opponent has no cards, no creatures. So hopefully we survive and then Villainous Wealth. I mean, this is still a lot of damage. Embercleave is scary. So we drop to 5. We untap. Triple Villainous Wealth. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got to do this first. Extinction Event on odd. Board swept. All right. Well, we'll see. Can we overcome an Embercleave? What does our opponent draw? Burning Tree and can equip. Well, either we draw like an Oblivion Sower or we just got to trust this Villainous Wealth saves us, and could, maybe. Opponent passes. Oblivion Sower, maybe? Watery Grave. Are we shocking ourselves to see one more card? Yeah, I mean, I think so. Watery Grave untapped. I mean, here goes nothing. We need these Villainous Wealths to be good. We at least need them to be good enough to keep us from dying to this Burning Tree Emissary. So Villainous Wealth X5. Okay, that works. So stomp Burning Tree. Play with Fire Burning Tree. Play the Saga. All right, not dead yet. Not dead yet. So we kill the Burning Tree. We pass the turn. Opponent can potentially hit us to 1 with Ramanov Ruins. Do we exile some lands? 1. Opponent draws a stomp. Okay, so now we are dead to a land off the top, unfortunately, because of Ramanov Ruins. That's awkward. We draw an Ashiok. Well, Saga. Villainous Wealth. X5 again. Annex. Annex. Saga. Oh, I mean, if our opponent doesn't draw land, we got a chance. So Annex, we're playing our opponent's deck, sort of. Annex comes down, second Annex comes down, keep the bigger one. The problem is if our opponent top decks a land, they get us. Well, we will pass the turn. Please, no land, no burn. Opponent top decks the land. Oh! That was brutal. That was brutal. Oh my goodness, that was so brutal. Well, that was close. I mean, that's mono red on the play. And it was close. It was close. So we got on a couple of the Ashioks that are just way too slow in this matchup. We'll go down one Llanowar because it apparently dies to everything. Go down one Ashiok, probably one Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Try it like that. Oh, we cast no Oblivion Sowers. We cast 2 Villainous Wells and they were fine. We were just so low on life by the time we did it that it wasn't especially great. All right, well, I mean, we'll keep this. It's a little painful that probably gonna have to shock ourselves, but we got the Tasha's Hideous Laughter this time, which is sweet. How about it? Random Saga. Well, grab a swamp. Get pinged. Breeding Pool, untapped, and Sylvan Caryatid. All right, so Oblivion Sowers, Villainous Wealth. We ask for the same cards every game, pretty much. Opponent digs up the Saga. Do they have a Burning Tree Chain? Swift Spear. Well, double 1-drop is kind of nice because double 1-drop sets us up for a nice extinction event in the future. Opponent goes attacking. No free spells in Pioneer, so we get to block. Opponent passes. Fatal Push. Well, I mean, Tasha's Hideous Laughter should hit a bunch of cards, right? 14. I mean, I don't know if that's a bunch, but it's a decent amount. And a bunch of lands, which is good. Okay, well, this is it. We're taking a bunch of damage here, unfortunately, but then hopefully, Extinction Event and our other removal spells will save us. Oh my god, they have Embercleave. Looks like. So opponent gets in, Embercleaves. We take 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that is Embercleave. Sure. I mean, I guess we could have shocked ourselves again to try to play around this. Well, I don't know. This is a lot of damage. We're so low on life. This is reminding me of game 1, where we're getting so low on life that our opponent might be able to just burn us out. Oh, there's the Oblivion Sower too. So close. Well, Extinction Event. Odds. Fabled Passage. We need one more land to get to the Oblivion Sower. Do we live long enough to play an Oblivion Sower? We're about to just get burnt. Opponent, Den of the Bugbear. Burning Tree. And as a burn spell, it's a stomp. We go to 3. Opponent. Passing. Now we untap. Fatal Push. All right, well, 1, 2. Legions and the Burning Tree. Oh no! Oh no. Eidolon in hand's not great for us. That is not great for us. Okay, opponent untaps. Oh no! Oh no! Oh yeah, and this just locks us. Opponent plays the Eidolon. All right, well, I guess our hope is we play the Oblivion Sower and then Villainous Wealth, but that's not gonna happen. All right. Well, I guess we learned that time that Mono Red with us being on the draw is probably not the best Oh, there's the land. And there's a Villainous Wealth. Oh! 18 cards in exile. 1 land, 2 land, 3 land, 4 land, 5 land, 6 land. So I know he died brutally, but really, like, if we could have lived another turn, Oblivion Sower, all the lands, Villainous Wealth, all your wealth, it's gonna happen. Against the odds time, we are pioneering this week, playing some Villainous Sower, and this is fine. I mean, we will keep it. A little bit slow, but we got our Villainous Wealth, we got our Ashiok, got a bunch of lands, a bit of removal. See what our opponent's up to. So what do we need? We need Tasha's Hideous Laughter and Oblivion Sower to fully go off. Well, tap land. You. All right, Pathway, Llanowar Elves, sure. I really don't want to let our opponent draw a card. Yeah, we're gonna let this go. This might be wrong. Baleful Mastery is such a weird removal spell. I don't like letting our opponent untap and play a 3-drop, but I also don't like giving our opponent a card, so we're gonna risk it, I think. Hopefully we don't regret this. Although we might. It's possible. Llanowar Elves, white-green Pathway. Maybe like a Coco deck, like Bant Coco or something. Opponent gets and hits us. Okay. Well, we're still not going to Baleful Mastery. This slows us down. I mean, ooh. Okay, Fatal Pushes. That's a nice draw. So now we can Fatal Push something this turn, probably Thalia. Almost definitely Thalia. And then untap in Baleful Mastery without drawing a card next turn. If we get Coco'd here, I guess Thalia means we're not getting Coco'd right here. Opponent goes to combat. Gets and hits us. I think we just take it. The nightmare is we Fatal Push Thalia now, and then our opponent plays another one. So I think we'd rather take 2 than have that happen. All right, end of turn. Yargle the Thalia. And then unless we draw something, we'll probably just untap and Baleful Mastery the Elf. Our opponent not doing anything last turn with 3 mana means they probably won't do anything. Yeah, let's just do it now. We could do it upkeep, but I don't think this is a counter deck. I guess Spell Queller maybe, but all right, get rid of the Elf. All right, that worked. Well, I mean, this isn't bad. Now we get to Ashiok. Hopefully start getting things into exile. We got the villain as well, so we really just need Oblivion Sower and maybe Tasha's Hideous Laughter, but wanting on opponent. Selfless Spirit, sure. Hallowed Found tapped. Yep. Well, I think it's Ashiok time. Definitely Ashiok time. I think we hold on to the Fabled Passage. One of the big reasons it's in our deck is to Revolt Fatal Push. So even though we could thin our deck by cracking it, I think it's better to wait. All right, let's Ashiok. What do we do with the Ashiok? Yeah, let's just bounce the Spirit. Well, all right. Opponent did not sack it, so pick it up, discard a card, or exile a card. Any way to get lands in exile. All right. Oh, Glasspool Mimic. All right, that's doesn't work as a land with Oblivion Sower, not a land in exile. I mean, I guess we're hitting so many land drops that eventually we can just cast a reasonable Villainous Wealth, even without Oblivion Sower, and just hope for the best. Would be much better if we'd find the Sower first. Wow, Reflector Mage on the empty board. The saddest. The saddest Reflector Mage. That always feels so bad. And the Selfless Spirit. Sure, we draw more lands. Well, make a Nightmare. Water Grip tapped. Best turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So next turn we could Villainous Wealth X4. It's so much better if we can Oblivion Sower first. And that's even better if we can Tasha's Hideous after first. But well, we'll see. We'll see. No lands in exile yet. Should be able to keep our Ashiok for another turn unless our opponent has another Reflector Mage to bounce the token. Goes to combat. No attacks. Oh, they must have like Coco or something. Make a Nightmare. Well, next turn, we're probably going to fire up Villainous Wealth, I think. Get in. Come on. Exile some lands in case we ever find Oblivion Sower. If we get Coco'd. Well, all right. One land. One land and an elf. That's a start. Opponent. Okay, just going to block with Reflector Mage. Sure. Well, no Coco blowout. If our opponent doesn't have Coco, what are they doing? Why are they passing? All lands? All right. Well, your go, opponent. Ship the turn. Oh, Cord. Okay, Cord X4. Well, I'm glad we left the Fable passage for the Fatal Put. Oh, Prime Speaker? Okay, that's scary. There are ways that Prime Speaker combos off. Could just be for value, I guess, but I'll crack the Fable passage. I expect this Selfless Spirit's gonna ruin our day, but we gotta try. Fatal Push? Prime Speaker? Oh, all right. I am shocked that worked. I really expected that was going to be the Selfless Spirit. Well, we've drawn a lot of lands, which normally would be depressing, except we do have this Villainous Wealth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can go X5. Probably worth it. Unless we draw Oblivion Sower. All right, Reflector Mage. Going to kill the Ashiok. Sure. Can't really do anything about this, unfortunately. Well, I mean, Ashiok did things. Breeding Pool, untapped, one card in hand. Ooh, Extraction Special. Aw, all right. We have enough mana that this isn't the end of the world, but that is -1 on Villainous Wealth. Might have to still do it, though, because we're kind of dying. Opponent's got a pretty big board. All right, yeah, killing Ashiok, sure. Well, let's see what we draw. Blooming Marsh. You know what? I think we're going to wait. We're going to wait one more turn. Blooming Marsh, go. Next turn, we're doing it. No matter what. Next turn, we have to do it or we're just going to die. This is almost like a Storm combo deck where the longer we wait, the more mana we get, the better Villainous Wealth gets. So I think it's okay to take a big attack here. Oh, boy. All right. Well, that gets rid of our one blocker. So we're taking what? 9? This better be a good Villainous Wealth. That's all I got to say about that one. Yeah. Hits us for 9, down to 5. I mean, if we whiff on Villainous, or down to 7 rather, if we whiff on Villainous Wealth, we're dead. Fatal Push, well, that's not bad for the future. But here we go. All the mana. We really needed a bunch of creatures here, or maybe they have a Wrath or something. Villainous Wealth, X5. Come on, Magic Gods. Be good. Okay. Well, all right. Mystic, Voice of Resurgence. Yell the Goose, honk. Okay, that keeps us alive. The Voice of Resurgences are actually kind of nice. Those block twice, which is big. We can gain some life with the food. Okay, I mean, maybe this is enough to keep us alive. I don't think that was the dream Villainous Wealth, but again, we didn't have Oblivion Sower, so attacks with everything. Okay, so block Extraction Specialist, double block Reflector Mage. I think we keep the Goose. We go to 1, keep the Goose, because the Goose is like +3 life each turn. We got so much mana. That I think this is fine. Our opponent can sack Selfless Spirit here if they want. Although we're kind of okay with that, because then we're only taking 4. Well, it's going to depend on what our opponent drew and what we draw. Are you sacking? All right, there's the Selfless Spirit. I mean, this is okay. We lose 2 Voice Resurgences, but we get 2 4/4s, which are actually probably better. We've already gotten through a million Reflector Mages. Oh my god, more land. Okay, well, now we actually just kind of want to draw another Villainous Wealth. Pass the turn. I think we live here, though, unless our opponent draws something. I don't even know if our opponent can actually attack at this point, because we can gain 6 with food. Yeah, opponent's passing. All right, well, make a food, honk, crack a food, honk, up to 6, and Elvish Mystic, okay. Run it out. The Villainous Wealth might actually stabilize us. Opponent. So now we're at least gaining 3 a turn. Thankfully, our opponent appears to be drawing lands now. Can we start attacking? How close are we to elemental attacks? Well, make food, crack food. Up to 9. Ooh, all right. Well, it's coming after the first Villainous Wealth, but Oblivion Sower is still sweet. We got 2 lands. Can we hit some more? Now I think we can definitely start it. Oh, we can't. Oh, 2/2. Okay. Well, now we know what our opponent's doing. Rubble Fort and Corridor Monitor. They're definitely Vanifar combo, which actually means I'm doubly surprised they didn't save the Vanifar. Opponent says they're going to get killed by their own tokens. Hopefully. I hope you are right, friend. About it. All right. Yeah, let's get in. Take 6. I think we've stabilized. We got removal in hand. We're gaining life. We got the big creatures. As long as we can keep our opponent from comboing, we're probably good. Opponent breeding pool. Opponent's deck looks cool. Vanifar combo is a sweet idea. You get to be like a pretty good like Coco style deck, although maybe you don't have Coco. But then you also can infinite combo. All right, make food, crack a food. Food's also nice with this Fatal Push in case they draw another Vanifar. Ooh, Ashiok. All right, well, go attacking. And our opponent, they're going to have to start blocking here soon. If they don't block here, they're going to 1. And if they ever try to like triple block or something, Fatal Push gets them. Wow, I think we're going to win this. Well, apparently just a Villainous Wealth X6, X5 was enough. One of the challenges with this deck is just the timing of things. In our perfect world, it's Oblivion's, well, in our perfect world, it's Tasha's Hideous Laughter to exile stuff, into Oblivion Sower, into Villainous Wealth, but can't always draw the cards in the right direction. All right, Ashiok and opponent scoops it up. Well, we went from being pretty much dead to really taking over that game with a single Villainous Wealth. That was sweet. That wasn't the full combo, but that was sweet. All right, what do we got on the sideboard? Can bring in another Wrath. Another extinction event. Ashiok's interesting. It does stop the tutoring. I think we should, I don't know how many we should bring in. We at least want one more. Maybe Legion's End. At least it gets like Thalion the Mana Dorks, even if it doesn't get the 3 drops. Ashiok's probably a bit slow. And maybe one extra Mana Dork. Yeah, let's try it like that. Let's go 2 Ashiok Dream Renders. I'm not sure. There's an argument for bringing in all 4 of them. The upside is it does stop Vanifar. The downside is our deck's not super good at defending Ashiok. So I think a lot of times it's not going to really work as a hate card. It's going to be like wipe your graveyard and then get beaten down because their opponent has so many creatures. But no, let's run it like that. This hand, well, we got the Ashiok. We can put to the test how good Ashiok is. Sand's actually, other than our mana being a little clunky, seems fine. We actually got the Tasha's Hideous Laughter and the Villainous Wealth, which theoretically means we're in Oblivion Sower away. Well, and living a bunch of turns away from the full combo. Oh, yeah, I think we got a Fable Passage. The Elf on turn 1 doesn't do anything with this hand anyway. We'd have to have double green. Well, I guess we could like Breeding Pool. Yeah, I don't know. Breeding Pool and try to draw Blue Source for Tasha's Hideous Laughter, but I think this is fine. Well, okay. Our plan was Fatal Push and Elf next turn, but I guess we just probably Fatal Push now. Big Ashiok. Well, land go. Sand could do it. This might be the one. This might be the one where you'd see the full combo. About it. Combat. Getting in with the Thalia. Sure. Gonna take it again. Kill it end step. Opponent. Well, okay, we're gonna kill it right now. On second thought, that's a Voice of Resurgence. Okay, well, what do we draw? Overgrown Tomb. Well, all right. Let's get down Ashiok, I think. It's not gonna live, but this keeps our opponent from Extraction Specialist back to Thalia, which is good. And cards in exile. I mean, we want cards in exile. That's the whole plan with Oblivion. One land. Only one land. Okay, we're trying. We're getting there. Our opponent's been super nice. They're having a chat about their deck. First match with the deck, they said it looks sweet. We might have to try Vanifar combo and Pioneer at some point. Opponent, please a tap land. It's the Ashiok. So we need what? Blue mana for Hideous Laughter and then Oblivion Sower. And then we should be able to have a really good villain as well. Ooh, Extinction Event. Well, exile your stuff. Come on, lands. Oh my god, no lands. Okay. Well, so far the milling lands plan has not worked. Let's run out the Elf, tap land, go. I don't really want to just Extinction Event Voice Resurgence. Plus, I mean, Mystic is an odd, so we can still Voice Resurgence in the future. Hopefully our opponent plays another even, and then Extinction Event becomes much more appealing. We're also to the point of getting down Big Ashiok, potentially. Ashiok down. Well, that's kind of what we envisioned Ashiok doing in this matchup. Ooh, 4-drop? Sacks of food. Oh, Rubble Fort. Ooh, okay, that's actually scary because that means Vanifar could come down with haste and go off. So I think, even though this is awkward, I think we got an Extinction Event on odds and kill our own elf to get rid of the Rebel Fort. I guess we could have just bounced it for a turn with Ashiok, but I think this is okay. We get rid of the Goose. We get rid of the Haste. The other thing about Vannifar combo is it usually doesn't have that many redundant combo pieces. Like, you can't play that many Tick Rebel Forts. It's usually like a 1-of or something. So it's possible if we kill the Rebel Fort, they just can't go infinite anymore. Well, the second extinction event's looking pretty good. Voice of Resurgence is annoying to deal with other removal, but extinction event, don't care. Don't care about the token. Yeah, evens. Well, the board is clear. Oh, we just need mana. We need mana in the Oblivion Sower. We really need a blue source for Hideous Laughter. This might be the game where we can do what we've been trying to do. Oh, sad Extraction Specialist. The Graveyard Hate's been good. More big Ashioks. Well, Elvish Mystic. That would have been a nice turn to get a land. Opponent. Well, I guess we're both stumbling on lands. We're on turn 8. Opponent's got 3 lands. We have 4. And we have only exiled 1 somehow. There's 13 cards in exile and 1 is a land. Opponent hits us down to 11. What's the follow-up? All right. Even more sad Extraction Specialist. Well, there's the blue mana finally. Probably gotta play Ashiok here. Do we tap the elf or yeah, I think we gotta shock. Let's shock Ashiok. Make a blocker. So the problem with tapping the elf there is then if they Reflector Mage the Nightmare, Ashiok just dies. This way, worst case, we can elf chump and keep Ashiok. Keeping Ashiok just gives us a lot of chump blockers, which hopefully buys us a lot of time, which hopefully lets us find Oblivion Sower and do the thing we've been trying to do forever. This might be the one. We just need the Oblivion Sower. Opponent goes to combat. Also, these Ashiok tokens are going to get things into exile, which is big. Well, block 1. Can we exile some lands, please, Nightmares? Please. No. Skyclave 15 cards in 1 land. We're the worst exilers. So bad at exiling lands. I mean, this Tasha Hideous Laughter that's gotta work, right? That's gotta hit a bunch of lands. Opponent's not drawing lands. We're not exiling lands. Their deck has to be absolutely full of lands. Opponent, yeah. Land Elvish Mystic, sure. Corridor Monitor, another combo piece. Not very exciting without the rest of the combo, but does get to untap Extraction Specialist. Well, let's see what we draw here. Carry. Oh, this is good. Okay, so carry added. That's more mana. Take up Ashiok. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. This has got to hit lands. It's got to. All right, 36 cards. How many do we get? Ooh, 14. How many of them are lands? That's the real question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're up to 6. Those Glass Bowl, we hit 3 Glass Bowl Mimics, which don't actually count as lands. But okay, 6 lands isn't bad. Oblivion Sower for 6 lands is reasonable. Although if we don't draw Oblivion Sower, Renegade Rallier, boy, opponents played a lot of sad versions of their good cards with nothing in the graveyard, Extraction Specialist Ralliers. If we don't draw Oblivion Sower, we might just, extinction event. All right, well, let's ultimate this Ashiok in probably the least powerful way ever. I think we just take 3 Glass Pool Mimics on Sylvan Caryatid. Because that's +3 mana for this Villainous Wealth if we don't draw Sower first. So yeah, I mean, Sylvan Caryatid, also Sylvan Caryatid, also Sylvan Caryatid. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, we have a pretty good Villainous Wealth. I'm thinking of playing Ashiok, but I'm afraid our opponent's gonna scoop. So we're not gonna play Ashiok. We want to cast our Villainous Wealth and Oblivion Sowers. I'm afraid if we run it out, our opponent's just going to be like, oh, we're just dead. We can't beat this. Okay, well, Oblivion Sower would be great. Otherwise, we're just... Oh my goodness, we did it. We actually did it. Okay, Oblivion Sower. All right, don't scoop, opponent. Don't scoop. Oblivion Sower. Oh, hits... Okay, couple more lands. Take them all. Okay. This is finally it. This is finally what we've been trying to do. Opponent. Untaps. Opponent gives us a holy bleep, haha. And I think that's GG. Okay, stick around for one more turn. Stick around. Okay, we get to do it. We finally get to do it. Villainous Wealth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 1, 2, 3. Oh, this actually just wins. This exiles our opponent's whole deck. X15, 15 cards in the library. Yeah, we could cast them, but our opponent's been super nice. So instead, we will not cast all the cards that we could have cast, and we'll just pass the turn, and our opponent will mill out. Okay, hey, it took some losses, but we did it. We did it. We did it. That is actually the full combo. Hideous Laughter, Oblivion, Sower, Villainous Wealth. That was a good one. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Sweet, sweet. So what do we learn this week about Villainous Sower in Pioneer? And record-wise, the deck was not great. 2 match wins out of 9 matches that we played with it. So we're talking a little bit over 20% win rate. So not super duper competitive. On the other hand, we did have some really cool games with this deck. And we finally did, due to our persistence, pull off the combo that we wanted with the best Villainous Wealth off of the best Oblivion Sower of all time. Villainous Wealth for 15. The only disappointing part was it actually exiled our opponent's entire deck. So they died to milling out instead of us attacking them with all their stuff that we stole. So the biggest issue we had with the deck was honestly just consistency of the combo. When you think about what our deck's trying to do, in a weird way, it's kind of like a 3-piece combo deck. And the order that we cast our combo cards really matters. We really want Tasha's Hideous Laughter first. Then we really want Oblivion Sower second. Then we really want Villainous Wealth third. And that exact sequencing was actually really difficult to pull off. We cast a lot of Villainous Wells, but many of them we cast before we Oblivion Sower because we didn't find an Oblivion Sower. We cast a lot of Oblivion Sowers, but many of them came before we Tasha's Hideous Laughter and was getting us like a land or maybe 2 lands, which is still fine. A 6 mana 5/8 that plays a land or 2 is still reasonable, but it's not the dream we're trying to set up. So that's one of the issues we ran into, and I'm not really sure how to make it more consistent. My first instinct is add more card draw to the deck, play more Memory Deluges, or play some sort of like Tainted Indulgence or something in the 2-drop slot. Just more ways to filter through the deck and find pieces. The only problem with that plan is if you're going to add cards, you got to cut cards. And we don't really want to cut Villain as well. So we don't want to cut Tasha's Hideous Laughter. So we don't want to cut Oblivion Sowers. Then we really need all of our ramp spells to make the plan work, like to make Oblivion Sower and Villainous Wealth work. So we don't really want to cut them. If we cut removal, then we're not going to stay alive as long. So there's a cost to cutting like Fatal Pushes or Baleful Masteries or Extinction Events. Then we could maybe cut like some Ashioks, but those are kind of spicy. And there are backup way of exiling cards. It's probably fine to cut like Ashiok Dreamrend or Ashiok Nightmare Weaver. It makes it less spicy, I would say, to not have those Ashioks in there. But if we're getting more card draws so we can find Tasha's Hideous Laughter more consistently, then maybe we don't need the Ashioks because they're kind of lesser exiling effects anyway. So maybe that would be a way to go. So I think that's what I do next time I play the deck. Maybe just add a little bit more card draw over a couple of the lesser Ashioks. But really, you can't go too far because like I said, you really need all the pieces. We need the combo pieces. We need the ramp. We need the removal to stay alive. So consistency definitely an issue. But when the deck goes off, it's hilarious, it's really effective, and I gotta say, last word on the deck, I always try to take something away from a deck, win or lose, good or bad. And my big takeaway is Villainous Wealth is actually a pretty sweet card in Pioneer. That was my biggest takeaway, is that we had a lot of like Villainous Wealth X5, Villainous Wealth X4, and those were almost always really good, including like several games when we were like almost dead. We couldn't find Oblivion Sower or Tasha's Hideous Laughter. We had the Villainous Wealth. We just fired off and got like 3 or 4 creatures from our opponent's deck. And that was able to let us like stabilize, get back in the game, buy a ton of time, eventually win the game, or maybe even find our combo pieces and win the game. So I think that maybe Villainous Wealth, I'm not saying it's a top tier competitive card. I'm not saying you're going to find this, winning pro tours or anything, but I think maybe Villainous Wealth is a little better than it's given credit for. And I kind of want to try to build a straight up Villainous Wealth deck. It might be that like the Oblivion Sower plan is just so memey that it maybe makes Villainous Wealth a little bit worse because you need all the things to go right to make Oblivion Sower work. But what if we're playing Villainous Wealth in Mono Green Devotion or some shell like that just makes so much mana with Nykthos? Maybe that could actually be a somewhat legitimate plan where you just ramp in the most efficient and effective way possible in Pioneer, and then trust that Villainous Wealth is going to be the finisher that hilariously beats your opponent with their own card. So Villainous Wealth, we're keeping in mind. Maybe we put it on the poll again at some point in the future. We'll wait a little while. We don't want to play it twice in a row, but maybe we'll put it on the poll again in the future because I actually was really impressed with how good Villainous Wealth was. But anyway, that's Villainous Sower. That's been who gets the odds for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.